and welcome back to the Mental Health Hour on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. I'm your host, Felicia Fishoff, registered psychotherapist, CEO of Rooted in Resilience, Psychotherapy, and Wellness, and your guide in conversations that center healing, leadership, and community. This month, as we honor Women's History Month and recognize Black Mental Health Week here in Canada, we're leaning into conversations that matter, especially for women who are praised for being strong, capable, and high achieving while quietly carrying more than they should. Tonight's She Speaks episode is titled From High Achieving to Overfunctioning When Success Starts Costing You Your Well Being. Have you ever been known as the reliable one, the one who gets it done, the one who holds everything together, but internally felt exhausted, overloaded, or stretched beyond capacity? Tonight, we're unpacking how high achievement can slowly become overfunctioning and what that shift does to our nervous systems, our relationships, and our sense of identity. Joining me is Kadeen Cooper, certified award winning executive coach, master facilitator, talent development consultant, and former HR leader with nearly 20 years of experience in leadership development and organizational effectiveness. Kadeen has coached hundreds of professionals to stop blending in and start owning the room without burnout, without office politics, and without playing small. Her work blends practical strategy with human centered leadership. And tonight, we're talking about what sustainable success really looks like. If you're watching live, I want you to say hello in the chat tonight. Let us know where you're tuning in from. And if this conversation resonates, please share the stream. Someone in your circle may just need it tonight. Before we begin, a gentle reminder that this show is for educational and informational purposes only, and it is not a substitute for therapy, medical care, or mental health treatment. If something shared tonight feels personal or activating, please consider connecting with a licensed mental health professional in your area. So now let's jump into the conversation. Kadeen, welcome,
Hello,
girl. How you doing?
hello. I'm good. I'm good. Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's always a pleasure having such amazing, just talented guests on the show. I'm always humbled by, all of
Ah,
the guests that join
same.
me. So thank you for saying yes.
Of course, of course.
Oh my goodness, girl. So I know we planned this quite a while ago, right?
hmm
And, when you thought about the topic from high achieving to over functioning, when success
hmm
starts costing you your well being, why do you think that the Love Bay family needs to be talking about this tonight?
Because I think it's something that we don't talk about often enough. And I think it's
Mm,
something that as women, we sometimes wear as a badge of honor, holding all of the
mm-hmm.
things together. And
Yeah.
it's funny, I was chatting with someone just earlier today, and she was saying that she's there for some people, but now that she's kind of in the midst of something, she doesn't feel like who's got her? Like
Mm,
the person or people who she has to hold space
yes.
for, she can't rely on them to hold the same space. And so I
Mm,
think it's important to just continue the conversation. We talk about it during Mental Health Week, Mental Health Month,
yes.
but it's not something that comes and goes. It's not a
Yeah.
season or an episode. It's life, right? It's a part of life.
Yeah.
So we need to talk about it.
Absolutely, girl. We're just doing this right off the bat, right? Yeah. I love it. I love
Exactly.
it. We have to. We have to. It's Women History Month, so we got to go there with guns blazing, right? Uh,
100%.
100. So I'm so glad that you brought up that example from that person you were speaking to, because I think that, especially women in leadership, like we carry so much. And I think
Mhm.
that a lot of women would resonate with what you just mentioned, right? Where
Mhm.
they're there for everyone. There's a lot of expectation and there's a lot of weight that comes with leadership. And then when it's time for them to, get a reciprocated response, it's crickets.
Yeah, true. Very true. And I think we all need that one someone that we can be vulnerable with, that we can be transparent with no judgment,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Not everybody has that.
Yes. Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that like sometimes a barrier to that is trust, right? Especially, as you step into leadership, sometimes I know that, you know, things can go down. Especially, I guess the higher the position that you get. And then sometimes there's conflict, there's turmoil, and a lot of people, especially business owners, leaders in their
Mhm.
company, even leaders in your home. Like, come on, it can be hard to trust people sometimes.
Agreed. Agreed. You don't want people to hold things against you or to view you in a different manner when maybe you're not feeling as strong or as confident. So I
Yeah.
think that's where a lot of people hold back, where they don't want to be viewed as weak.
Mm, girl, yes. Yes. If you could, even talk about that piece, like what does it mean to be strong? What is weakness?
It's a great question. And I think, growing up, raised by, an immigrant, a mother who came here, wasn't born Canadian, and then being told and taught, go to school, get an education, climb the corporate ladder. That's what success looked like. No matter what, that's what you were supposed to do. And so it's something that I feel like you just kind of morph yourself in. Like that's what it looks like
Mhm,
at all
mhm.
costs, right? But
Yes.
and I think I did that for many, many years when I was in corporate, and it was like, but wait a minute. A, this isn't fulfilling. This isn't serving me anymore. And I felt like I was losing a part of myself in the process.
Yes.
I was doing well and I climbed the corporate ladder, but it no longer felt like success to me. There was a real feeling of misalignment that I couldn't
Yes.
ignore.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it's heavy, right? When you're trying to not only just prove to yourself, but also prove to others that you
Yep.
can do this
Yes.
without dropping the balls or all the things, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. As you're talking, my brain's like, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. I'm going to talk about all the things. Um, I'm so happy that you talked about corporate because,
Mhm,
I think that that's one thing that I've been noticing even with my clients who work in corporate,
mhm,
that a lot of women especially feel like they have to lose themselves to be seen, to be recognized, to be respected in corporate. It's
mhm.
like just a different culture altogether,
Yeah, they
right?
drink the Kool-Aid, and I drank it too. I won't
Yeah,
say what color because you'll know the organization, but I
yeah,
drank the Kool-Aid.
yeah, right? And it's like a certain vibe, right? And, it's if you describe yourself as a puppy,
Mm,
right, in the midst
mhm.
of that corporate environment, some people feel like they'll either get overrun, overturned, unless they take on like a
Persona.
Devil Wears Prada persona,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And even in that self, having to put on that identity is a form of overfunctioning, I think, in my opinion.
No, no, I agree.
Mhm.
Because you're not being true to yourself, right? You're true to who you are, and that's something that I pride myself on now is helping other women,
Yeah.
especially us women of color, of being true to who you are, staying in alignment,
Yes.
and tapping into your values, because that's your foundation. I mean, for
Yeah.
me, before it used to be success looks completely different now than it did to me when I was in corporate. And now it's
Yeah.
my 5S: faith, family, fun, freedom, and flexibility. So I try to lean more into those things
Girl, you got
and
to
help.
slow that down because people who are trying to write it down just missed that. They said, wait, come back. Turn her.
No,
Come on.
but those are, I'm happy to share them again, but those are mine. But I help women now to identify what theirs are. So it's faith, family,
Mm,
fun, freedom, and flexibility. So now
Faith,
when I say
family,
yes to
fun, freedom,
freedom and
flexibility. I
flexibility,
got
yeah.
it.
So now, Felicia, when I say yes to something, because if you
Yeah.
say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, right? And vice versa. So
Mhm.
if I'm to say yes to something, like I said yes to this, to speak
Yes.
to you, live, I'm like, okay, what am I saying no to? Well,
Yes.
I'm in a closed environment where I can speak. Did I have a scheduling conflict? A little bit, but I can catch them up
Yeah.
later, right? And
Yes.
I love this topic and sharing about this topic,
Yes.
about my experience, and even, confidentially, the experience of some of my clients, because if
Yes.
we don't talk about this, nothing happens if nothing happens. Like, nothing changes if nothing changes. And if people
Yes.
don't feel like they have that psychologically safe space to share, we're going to continue to see mental health rising, burnout rise, these overachieving women like myself thinking that it's okay to continue operating like that. Right? There's so much to
Yes.
unpack with this. And it's something like, I'm
Yes.
first aid certified in mental health as well, because I'm a huge mental health advocate. So it's
Yes.
just like, thank you for just the space, really,
Of
to
course.
share.
Of course. I mean, this platform is for us, right? For our communities to be able to
Mhm.
share and talk about these topics that we don't get to talk about, right?
Yeah, no, it's
So,
important.
we it is, girl. Girl, we need to slow this down, right? Because I think you dropped some. I always say dumpling. I'm trying to come up with another word, Love Bay,
Don't
and I
play,
can't come up with another word. She's
not
dropping down the
diamonds, not gems, some
dumpling.
dumpling, drop some dumpling. Okay.
Some dumpling, man, some hearty dumpling, So we got to break it down because I think
Mhm.
that you're absolutely right. It's so easy to lose ourselves, right? How would someone begin to, one, recognize that they're
Mm,
in a space of over, over, over functioning, right?
mm, mhm,
Like, where do they begin to do that deep work, right? Because for you to
mhm.
get to the fun, the freedom, the 5 that you had, I'm sure that you
Yes.
had to do a lot of work to be
Oh,
able
yeah.
to even gather those gems and know that this is my new work ethic and this is what I'm going to be working towards.
Yeah, no, definitely. And it's funny because I think but I quit my job in 2019 and started my own practice. So I didn't plan on being an entrepreneur, but I just couldn't do what the environment that I was in was not healthy for me. And I
Yes.
decided to step away from it. But to get back to your question, I went on my own personal development journey, and
Mm,
I love to learn. And I'm a big on, self-help books, and they're great. Therapy, great.
yeah.
So I
Yes.
had to really sit with myself, journaling and identifying what served me really well based on the season that I was in and what didn't serve me well. And one of the things that
Mhm.
I remember in one of my therapy sessions, my therapist said to me, she goes, "It sounds like you're not in tune with your body." And I was like, "Ooh, what does she mean by that?" But she
Yes.
was right. But she was right. Because here's what happens. We do all the things and we keep running like at breakneck speed thinking we can until we can't. And our
Mhm.
body sends us signs and signals, but we ignore them. We don't listen or pay attention to them. So my 100% my body was sending me signs, but what were those signs? I don't know. A rash here on my shoulder,
Yeah.
crick in my neck, my shoulders going like this, me tensing up,
Yes.
all signs. Me not being able to sleep, me snapping at my family, my kids, my husband, all of those were signs. Maybe
Mhm.
small signs or big signs, depending on how you look at it, but they were all telltale signs of something was happening that wasn't
Yes.
healthy for me. But I kept pushing through because, girl, yeah, I was making good money. I was working for
Mhm.
a brand company,
Yeah. Mhm.
and
Yeah.
felt always like you have to prove something. You have to prove something. And so
Ah,
I was just like, you know what? Mirror them. I mean, I had a lot of personal things going on too with one of my boys, but I was like, mirror them. And I was like, I have to choose me. I had to just take a step back and figure myself out. And that's what I did. And I feel like if you can gift
yes.
yourself with that, that's what I was saying to a lot of people during the pandemic as well. What are you
Mhm.
doing this time that you've been gifted with? Because we were all on
Yes.
a timeout, right? So what were you
Mhm.
doing? Were you learning? Were you reading? Were you actually taking a pause? So now I'm
Yes.
genuinely, I recognize when I need to stop. And even in the
Yeah.
morning, Felicia, like if I wake up one morning and I'm like, Kadeen, do you need 5 more minutes? Yep. I'm like, girl, take 5 more minutes or 10 or half
Yes.
an hour if I can afford
Yes.
it. And I do
Yes.
it. And I do it. Just listening to yourself,
Absolutely.
whatever that looks like for you, whether it be talking to yourself, meditating, um, journaling and looking for patterns about what are you writing to yourself or what are you
Mhm.
saying to yourself, negative
Yes.
thoughts, overthinking, so
Mhm.
many different
Mhm.
signs. Like it shows up and it manifests itself in different ways, is what I'm trying to say. And I'll pause because I could talk about this forever.
I am in my happy place right now, Love Bay family,
Listen,
because
Dawn says
she
your
is
body
spilling
feels
all the things. As you're
yeah,
speaking my language, right? Yes, Dawn, your body keeps the score
does
for
for sure.
sure.
Love
Girl,
it.
nice to see you in the
Mhm.
chat. Thank you.
So true.
Absolutely. Our body shows us receipts. And I love
Yeah.
that you mentioned that we have to slow down.
Yeah.
We
Slow
have
down
to
so we
really.
can move faster, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because until we
Mm.
slow down, until we begin that eternal work and we begin to we actually start asking ourselves those questions, right? We
Yeah,
continue to go into that loop and that cycle over and
exactly.
it's like we're the Energizer Bunny. We just keep going and going
Yeah,
and going.
it's true until we can't.
Yeah.
So it's like
Mm-hmm.
either you do it willingly or your body
Yes,
will do it for you or your mind,
absolutely.
whatever, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. And you heard that, Love Bay family. Even an amazing executive coach like Kadeen Cooper goes to therapy.
100%. Yep.
Your crazy host goes to therapy. Come on, guys.
Everybody needs therapy. You either need a therapist or you need a coach. No, seriously. I mean, we were
Absolutely.
not meant to do life alone. And if we continue, like
No.
I grew up as an only child. I have siblings, but I grew up as an only child. And I never really had that person. So I used to contain a lot of things inside or just
Yes.
try to process on my own. Not
Mm-hmm.
healthy. It wasn't until I got into my adult years that I even discovered that therapy was a thing, that coaching was a thing.
Yeah.
And now I'll tell you, not because I am a coach, I'm leaps and bounds ahead in my life and my career because I've invested in myself in coaching and in therapy.
Yes.
And that's a fact.
Yes.
100% that's a fact.
100%. And girl, I love that you said that it's an investment. It's an
Yeah.
investment in your well-being, it's an investment in your
Mhm.
health, right? So you got to take care of yourself, Love Bay family.
Your
I'm
health
not
is
pitching myself. Let me make this clear. We're not pitching ourselves. We're saying
no,
find
neither am I. No,
somebody.
find
Find
somebody.
somebody. There is some
Exactly.
therapist, some coach out there for you so that you
Mhm.
can do that work, that internal work. Have someone ask you the right questions, right?
Yeah.
So
And just
that
unpack. You
absolutely
know, unpack
unpack.
whatever needs to be unpacked. Like it doesn't serve you holding on to it, right? It does
Yeah.
more harm. Like your body, who was it? There was someone the other day, and let me tell you how people are like getting sick because of stress, having heart attacks because of stress, strokes because of stress.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
your health is your wealth. I can't even say it enough. Your health is your wealth, and we need to just be
100%.
mindful and taking care of ourselves.
Absolutely. It is. I always say this with my Love Bay family. It's all connected. And we're
Mhm,
not just saying this. This is fact. This is
mhm,
science, right?
100%.
If you're having chest pain and they can't find a reason behind it, what is the first thing they ask you?
Mhm.
Is there stress in your life?
In your
What's
life, your
going
health is
on?
good. Yeah. What's going on?
Right? And then you're strapped up to a stress test Holter monitor for what? Three to 11 days,
Yep.
apparently.
You know
Yeah.
what's so funny as you're saying that, Felicia? I remember when I was in corporate that happened to me. I didn't think
Yeah.
anything of it though. I was just like, oh, I got this device. I'm rocking it for a week. I don't know what's
Yeah.
wrong with me, but they're gonna tell there was nothing
Yeah.
wrong with me. I was just stressed out.
100%.
Stressed out.
100%. And
Ignoring it,
it
pushing through
impacts
it.
everything.
Didn't feel comfortable, but I
Mm.
can I can I can get through this, you
Yeah.
know?
I mean, I had to do it too when I was stressed and I wasn't taking care of myself. And it was itchy, man. But yeah. Sorry. TMI.
That is so funny.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
funny.
So I love that we're talking about the physical, right? And also
Mhm,
just paying attention to the signs that we're not doing okay, right?
mhm.
Because I think when we talk about high achieving and over functioning, right? Again, there are those telltale signs that something's just not right, right?
Right.
So what are the telltale signs in your opinion of someone who is leading to burnout?
Mm. someone who's not practicing self-care or prioritizing self-care,
Yes.
someone
Yeah.
who's doesn't know how to shut it off, like when you close the
Mm,
laptop, you know what I mean? I have a client right now who's a director of HR, and she's taking work home with her, like, so she's constantly on. And
mhm.
so there's no boundaries, it doesn't seem like. So I'm challenging her to establish
Yes.
healthy boundaries for herself, because that to me is a sign for cause of, for, you know, it's like you're seeing a train wreck happening.
Mhm.
You can see it, but they can't see it yet, right?
Yes.
But the hope is that by encouraging them to be more mindful of it, that it'll prevent them from having burnout. But I would say, you know, not shutting down, not
Mm,
honoring your boundaries, not
mhm.
listening to your body,
Mhm.
disconnecting, disassociating yourself as well,
Mhm.
all signs that something's
Absolutely.
going on, right?
Absolutely. Hello, Rashawn. We're giving you a wave back. Thank you for tuning in. Absolutely. And I think that's important, right? Because
Mhm.
nothing is meant to function 24/7.
No,
At
we're
least
not
if,
robots.
absolutely. Absolutely. We're not robots.
No, we're
100%.
machines.
But I think that the way that society, at least on this side of the globe, is wired is that they expect us to run. I mentioned the
Mhm.
Energizer Bunny. We keep going and going and
Yeah,
going without
breakneck
a
speed.
break. Mhm.
Yeah,
But
keep going
again,
at breakneck
like,
speed.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, but again, we weren't meant to run on that type of schedule. We need rest.
Exactly.
Mm.
I will share with you what one of my doctors said to me when I was doing all the things. She said to me, "How important is quality of life to you?" And I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
never thought of it." Because like you said, I was just running. I was
Yeah.
just doing. And she's like, "How important is quality of life to you?" And I was just like, "It's very important." But it made me pause and think, how important is it? And what am I doing to maintain my quality of life? Because the way I was operating wasn't sustainable. Even though
Mm.
I thought it was, or I was trying to make it sustainable, it wasn't.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I society doesn't talk about quality of life. I love that you brought that up, right? Because it seems
Mhm.
counterintuitive.
Mm, mhm. It
It
really
seems
does.
counterproductive, right?
Mhm.
I
I
I
think
forgot.
we just
Mhm.
we're in a like a hurried society though too, where especially now everything's at your fingertips. God forbid you should wait in line and just stand in you know, all of the things. What would
Yeah.
it cost you? And sometimes I try my best. I'm just like, okay, I'm standing here. I'm just going to stand here and observe and look around and not reach for my phone. I'm going to be
Mm,
present with where I'm at. I'm not
mhm,
saying I'm perfect. I don't do it all the time, but sometimes I'm like, okay, like I might do, and then I'm like, wait a minute, no, put it back and just
mhm.
stand here and wait. You know, like
Absolutely.
too much on the go.
100%. And I think what I'm hearing is the need to be intentional, right?
Hmm.
Because,
Hmm.
I mean, to say that we're gonna be able to change corporate and the way that corporate functions,
Yeah.
corporate is
But
on its
you can
own,
do that. Yeah. Yeah. But you can change you, and we can teach people how to treat us, right? Which I think is important. Teaching people how to treat us. You're like, what you say? Yeah, yeah. Teaching people how to treat, and I'm talking personally and professionally. You know what I mean? Like boundaries and relationships are important, but people will continue to treat you any old way if you allow them to. And this is something that I learned as well too when I was going through my personal development journey. Is the changes that I was making were not going to be for everyone; they were for me. And that's
Mhm,
the misconception I
mhm.
think that we all have too, is healthy boundaries that we establish are for other people, but they're not. They're for you. And so when you establish those boundaries, whoever was benefiting from you not having those boundaries before, they're not going to like it. But that's too bad because
I
now
just
you're
hope
stepping
some of my
into it.
clients are listening somehow because it's like you're in my therapy sessions. Girl, keep going. Keep going. I'm not going to say a thing. Keep going.
This is what doing the work looks like, girl. I'm telling you, many years of doing the work, right?
Yes.
I have this talk, and I actually did it a few years ago during Women's International Month, and it's
Mm.
about becoming the CEO of you and life and like self-leadership and not allowing
Mhm.
other people to lead us. We have to lead ourselves. You
Come
have
on.
to lead yourself. Same thing like I'm the leaders that I coach, the executive leaders. I mean, yes, you're a leader and you're responsible for other people, but if you can't lead yourself, I don't want you leading me. Right? So there's just so much to unpack, girl. So much to unpack. But yeah, it's important that you know how you want to or how you need to be treated. Because if you don't, then people can just treat you any old way, and that's not okay.
You know that Viola Davis meme where she picks up her bag and she just looks and then she walks away? That's how
Listen,
I feel on the inside. I'm like, girl, you're just dropping all of the gems tonight. So I'm just gonna let you just take over and talk because this
I can come back. I'll come back on.
yes, please. Yes, please. Because Ex girl, you need to dig deeper into that self-leadership and the
Yeah,
importance of it because
yep,
girl,
100%.
you're right. If you can't lead yourself,
How can you lead others? Yeah.
and people
And it
don't
sounds
talk about
simple.
that. Mhm.
Exactly. Because it's almost like you think, of course, but no. And what I found when I was in HR is we would place people in leadership positions and roles, but we didn't equip them to be leaders. So you go from being an individual contributor to now you're responsible for leading other people that you have no business leading because you don't have the skills, the emotional intelligence to lead, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's like a
Uh-huh.
another whole other conundrum to go down.
Right?
But we
Right?
need a series, Felicia.
We do. We need a series, right? Okay, Loki, and I'm not knocking this test, but apparently there's a test where they ask you what kind of animal you are. Is that supposed to detect self-leadership? You know the
I've
test
heard
I'm
it.
talking about?
I know of it. I know of it. I haven't done it. Or have I done it? Because I feel like I came up as a lion. A lion.
That doesn't surprise me. I love it.
Maybe.
I
I
love
don't
it.
remember the name of it though, but I've done so many assessments. And I think that's
Yeah.
important too, to know yourself, right? To
Yes.
really know yourself. Sit with yourself.
Yes.
Sometimes we find it very uncomfortable to be alone or to sit in silence. Do you know how hard it is sometimes for me to just sit and be without picking up a book, without looking at my phone? But
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning how important even that is. I don't have to do anything. I can just sit down on my couch. I can watch TV. I can look out the window.
Mm,
Those are important moments as well, right? But we
absolutely.
always think that we have to be doing something, and that's me. And I'm learning it. Not every day, but I'm learning to be more mindful of
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing and what I'm not doing for myself.
Absolutely. What benefits have you noticed for yourself, after going on this journey of mindfulness and really learning to be present in the here and now?
Mm,
Mm.
um, much more grounded.
Mhm.
That's what I've heard a lot of people say. You're so grounded now. Um, Definitely more in tune with myself and who I
Mhm.
am and
Mhm.
who I'm not. So like I
Yeah.
said, the values, right?
Mhm.
But I would say much more grounded. Like not to say that I would fly off the handles before, but I recognize when I'm doing too much in my body, and I'm like, okay, Kadeen, like I can feel it coming up now. So I know when I
Mm.
need to go forward, when I need to step away, when I need to call a friend,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
What resources, just tapping into the resources. And so one thing that I would offer anybody here that's watching is always have like your toolkit. Like I do journaling, meditation,
Mhm.
affirmation, friends that get it. You know what I mean? That are
Mhm.
entrepreneurs that are in similar spaces. And it's important. Community is important. So for
Mm.
me, it's really identifying what do I need in this moment. Not to say that they all work and I use them all at the same time. There are some
Mhm.
that work better in certain seasons or phases than
Yes.
others. But just the
Mhm.
fact that I have them, I'm like, okay, I'm going to journal about this today because I need to
Yeah,
get this out of my system.
absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
or I'm going to call someone and vent or get a different perspective when I'm
Mhm.
spiraling sometimes. Yeah, board of directors is another thing too. Who are your board of directors? Who can you call for various things? And
Hmm.
as an entrepreneur now, I've had to establish those board of directors because it's not easy to do, oops, sorry, to do things on your own. And we shouldn't have to.
Mm. You are listening to the Mental Health Hour on Love Bay Afrobeat Music Talk Radio. Tonight's She Speaks conversation is from high achieving to over functioning when success starts costing you your well being. If you've been the strong one, the dependable one, the one who always pushes through, this conversation is for you. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, download our apps from the Apple App Store or Google Play. Please visit our website to donate. Your donation will help us to continue serving you, our community. So please reach out to us at 437-778-3299. Let's hear from you or visit us at lovebayradio.live. We are here serving you 24/7, so stay with us. Girl, let's continue to talk about these board of directors. Okay.
Yes, board of directors. We all need them.
Yes.
We
Mhm.
all need them. And they serve
Mhm.
different purposes, right? They serve different
Mhm.
purposes, different seasons. I'll give you an example of how I've used one. So I was submitting a proposal for an opportunity and I wasn't
Mhm.
the successful vendor selected.
Mhm.
And so I was like beating myself up and I'm like, I just spent how many days and how many hours putting this together. And so
Mhm.
I called one of my girlfriends and I was talking to her and she goes, so can you not use that proposal again? And I'm like, yes, but I spent, she goes, but wait, but is it not something that you can reuse? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, then it wasn't for nothing. And I was like, you're right, it
Mhm.
wasn't for nothing because I can use it. I just need to tweak it. And she goes, exactly.
Mhm.
So then it's like, you know,
Yes.
grounding
Yes.
myself because I'm like, okay, you're absolutely right. I will use this again. So wasn't
Absolutely.
successful there, but I'm not going to beat myself up about it. It is what it is. I'm going to
Yes.
move on and learn.
Mhm. Mhm. Absolutely. And it's so important. I love that you talked about that each person has a different role,
Yes.
right? Because there's some people that you just need them to just listen and cry with you, you know. Big up to
Mm,
one of my coaches out there who allows me one day to eat one tiny bag of chips per thigh. I tell her I have too many packs of chips, one per thigh. So when I hit that floor and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I can't
yes.
believe this is happening. I have
Yeah,
that moment. I allow myself, and she's like, now tomorrow you better get up and work off those bags of chips that you have.
girl.
Right?
Yeah.
Girl. And then
Someone
there's
to
other
check. We need
people.
someone to that checks us too.
Yes.
It doesn't allow us
100.
well. Like the other thing too is
Yes.
you're identifying these board of directors and a role that you want them to play. Not to say that you have to ask them explicitly, you can, but I have a friend, one of my besties,
Yes.
she doesn't have the capacity for my she's like she can provide me with psychological safety, but she's just gonna laugh at everything. She's not that person to be like, I can vent to her, but she'll tell you straight out, she goes, I'm not the one. I can't hold the space for that right now.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I respect that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
bye. Because I need
Yes.
someone that can hold the space. Right. But I already know what I can go to her for, and I know what I can't go to
Yes.
her for. Right. So it's
Yes.
important that when you're identifying who these persons are in your life, that they're okay and they have the capacity to hold that space for whatever it is that you need. Because otherwise, you're just going to be
Absolutely.
frustrated, and they're going to be frustrated. Because I'm not your person, but you want me to be, but I'm not your person. Right.
100%. Now, I'm probably going to get myself in trouble for saying this, but don't be a CEO who surrounds yourself with yes people. You need
No.
someone who will challenge you back. And I'm not talking about drama, okay, but
No.
I'm talking about just that constructive criticism, that healthy perspective, that like when your board member said,
Mhm.
"Hey, can't you just use this for something else? Can't you just tweak it? And
Yeah,
I'm sure in that moment you just wanted to someone to say, "Yeah, that sucks that you didn't get it." But she's like, "No, no, no, no,
exactly.
no, 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 no."
Yeah. She
At
texted
least I'm
quick
assuming
too.
that's what you wanted.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, I was like, I wanted her to kind of listen to me, and but she was like, I'm not hearing that. She goes, because I know you're going to get other opportunities are going to come, and you'll be able to use that. So why are we talking about this right now? That
Yes.
was her reaction. She was like, and I was like,
Yes.
okay, thank you. So now when I need to be checked or when I need that non-bias, I go to her. And I always, that's something that I definitely pride her on because I'm like, you're my perspective check. That's the role that you play for me as my board of advisors. And she's like, I'll own that. I'm like, okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Right.
But yeah, everybody needs that somebody, right? That will be honest with them. But also, I mean, and it wasn't in a rude way. It didn't make me
Oh,
feel bad, but it was just like, huh, you're right. She made me
exactly.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we're not talking about being salty and mean and rude, right? We're
No.
just saying
Mm,
somebody who can just hold you, but also be like, listen, it's gonna be okay. Let's go.
exactly. Exactly.
Mm.
They want to see you win and not stay stuck. Right.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. You know, I love stories, and obviously I know that there's confidentiality and stuff, but is there like even a moment in your career where you journeyed with somebody and you saw them go from this place of, high achieving to over
Mhm.
functioning and how they overcame that, and what was that journey like? Or even if it's
Mm,
from your personal experience too, but I know you've been sharing tidbits of that also.
yeah, I think one client definitely comes to mind, and
Mhm.
I'll tell you the first time we even spoke, she found me on some coaching site.
Yeah.
So she flipped through page after page or after page, and then she found me and she reached out. And as soon as I locked eyes with her, Felicia, it was waterfalls, and I was
Oh.
like, "Ooh." I was like, what's wrong? Like we haven't even started talking yet. And she was just like, I'm so thankful and grateful that I'm speaking to you right now. And I was just like, oh, okay.
Wow.
You know, just I guess I was just,
Mhm.
I mean, she read my bio, so she knew a little bit about me. Um,
Yeah.
but seeing her, and it wasn't like every single session was happy and rainbow and
Mhm.
butterflies, but I helped her to work through it. And I'll tell you, 2 weeks ago when I spoke to her, I was just sitting back like this, and I'm like, look at you. Look at you holding your own. Look at you, the way you're
Yeah.
speaking about the conversations that you've had and the rooms that you've been shifting. Like, look at you. And she's
Yes.
like, I know. And I'm like, and she's like, "Yeah, because of you." And I'm like, no, 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 no. I said, it's because of
Mm.
you. I just held the
Yes.
space and
Yes.
equipped you and gave you some resources and the confidence that you needed to know that you could speak up and that you could challenge because of the
Yes.
world that you're in. Right. So, and I
Mhm.
love it. I love what I do because, and I think it's the same thing for you, Felicia, is we hold the
Mm.
possibilities or we hold,
Yes.
what's the other way of saying it? Drawing a blank right now. But we
Mm.
hold the future of that version of our clients until
Yes.
they catch up with it. And when they catch
100%.
up with it, I'm just like, oh, it's like it just warms my soul,
Me
honestly.
too.
And there's
Yes.
been a couple
Yes.
dips because life is lifing, right? So there have been a
Yeah,
couple
always.
conversations that we've had or sessions that we've had, and I've seen the emotions come back, and I'm like, what is that about? And it's because A, we're not miracle workers. B, we're human beings. C, there's a
Mhm.
lot of things that are still sitting here that are not fully resolved yet, right?
Yes.
That could trigger an emotion or a feeling. But the fact that now she has tools and resources and
Mm.
a coach to kind of work her through, it makes it so much better on her. So, and I
Absolutely.
love just seeing her blossom into the true, I say, so I'm tired of the word authentic. I have to tell you, everyone's being their authentic self. So I prefer to
Yep.
say the real ideal version of you. I want to see the
Mm.
real ideal version of you. I still use authentic. I'm not gonna lie, but
Yes. Just
I
a
prefer to say
sprinkle.
the real and ideal version of you. It matters, yeah,
Yeah.
because that's
Yeah.
what matters, and that's think
Mhm.
as therapists, coaches, counselors, that's
Mhm.
what we help to do is for people to discover that or uproot it because it's all in here. None of us are broken. None of us need fixing. We just need a safe space where we can unpack and
Yes.
release whatever's not serving and start the healing process, right? And then you're good.
100%. 100%. And you're good. I think that's a common thread that has been coming up, throughout our conversation tonight is that idea of people finding their voice
Mm-hmm.
and how empowering and healing that is.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
Especially because it's so, again, like what we were saying at the beginning of the show, it's so easy to lose ourselves, to lose our sense of identity, especially when it comes to that professional journey that we have, because usually when you think of that person that you're that role that you're aspiring to have, or that dream or that goal or that vision, we envision it looking at like a particular way. And I think sometimes, yes, of course it's important to have a vision, move towards it, but sometimes we could blur the lines and we could actually lose ourselves, and we can try to put on almost like a persona to be that person that we envision.
Right.
But then it can become unhealthy. Does that make sense?
100% makes sense. Because like I said, it's drinking the Kool-Aid or adapting so much to who you think you need to be or should be in order to get that promotion or to find your partner or whatever, that you lose part of yourself.
Yeah.
And if someone can't be with you, or an employer doesn't hire you for who you truly are, then that's not the employer for you. And whenever I'm coaching, doing career coaching for clients, I always say, don't forget, there's a dual role here. You're the interviewee and you're also the interviewer. Because so proud of a client the other day, she was like, you'd be so proud of me. I was actually interviewing with the manager, and she goes, I asked her a question, I saw her reaction, and I knew that she was the manager I wanted to work with. And I'm like, yes, you've probably saved yourself 3-4 months of heartache.
Yes.
Because sometimes and here's the other thing too, is keeping our power, not even taking it back, but keep it. Don't lose the power that you have, because we all have that power, but we give it away so freely to certain people or to certain opportunities. But if you have to give again, the values. If I don't honor my values, or if I have to give parts of myself away, then that's not me being my real and ideal version of me. You're only getting a part of me, to compartmentalize me. And that's something that I did for a long time too. You had the mom Kadeen, the wife Kadeen, the sister Kadeen, the friend Kadeen.
Yes.
I'm just Kadeen. What you see is you get.
Yes.
And I had to learn that I may not be for it, but I'm okay with it now. You know what I mean? Like, I'm okay with it now. I'm comfortable with who I am. Still becoming, the best real and ideal version of myself. But on that way to becoming, I'm much more who I am.
Yes.
And that's important.
100%. Absolutely. I'm really happy that you brought up this idea of those fragmented parts of yourself, right? Where, and depending on the environment, you had a particular part of Kadeen that you would unleash, right?
Yes.
So how did you go about that work of actually consolidating Kadeen, where now she is steady?
Where now she is steady. She wobbles in the knees a little bit now. Just kidding. I think it just, the personal development journey, I think, certainly helped with me discovering who I really am at my core, and just showing up consistently as her. And so I would recognize sometimes when I was not showing up as her, when I was dimming or I was holding back because I thought, a little bit would be a little bit much. And then I was on a video, I don't know if it was a webinar or something. This was during the pandemic. And this speaker said, she goes, you'll either be too much for some, not enough. She wasn't even speaking to me, but she said, you'll either be too much for some, not enough for others, but as long as you're enough for you, you'll be okay. And I was just like, oh, I'm just going to be me.
Yes.
I'm just going to be me. And if I'm not for you, that's okay.
Yes.
And same thing when I'm sure you feel the same when you're meeting with a client for time. I always say, I'm not for everybody. But if I'm not, I may have a referral for you. I may not be your coach.
Yes.
Right? I may not be your coach. And I'm okay with that. But now I have extension of other coaches that I could possibly refer you to. I'd love to
Yeah.
work, but I may not be for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that takes a level of self-confidence, right? And
Mhm.
again, I think that beautifully ties into the over-functioning piece, right? Because it's like if you don't have that self-confidence to know who you are, sometimes you can step over into that sense of over-functioning because you're trying to be everything to everyone all at the same time.
Exactly. And that's exhausting. That's a cause for burnout.
Yes.
You're trying to be all of the things and morphing yourself into, and yeah, you can be adaptable. I'm not saying not to be adaptable, but
Mhm.
still stay true to you and who you are.
Absolutely. And I think that a lot of well, many times, some people may feel bad or guilty and they don't want to disappoint others. Where have you
Mhm.
seen like disappointment playing out even in to some of this over functioning?
Mm. I think with my family, probably,
Mm,
I think both personally and professionally, because professionally, it would be, the overworking, the weekends,
mm,
taking calls at random hours, making myself too accessible. And
mm,
then with my kids, it would be, or my family, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but you need me to do something for you? Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm
mhm,
gonna do it, right? Because I don't want to disappoint. But at what cost? So now it's more about, can this wait? Is this urgent, or can this wait? So now I'm more curious and asking questions.
mm,
Do you really need this right now or can it wait till tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon?
mm,
When you need it. Because before I wouldn't even
mhm.
ask the question. I'd just be like, they've asked me to do it. I guess they need me to do it. I need to do this right now. I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
have the energy, the strength. So if you want me to be at my best, can we do this at this time? Otherwise, I
Mhm.
can maybe try and do it, but you got to give me, like, I'll give you when I can do it within the
Yes,
day. You want to keep it fitted
absolutely.
in.
Absolutely.
Right. So going back to treating and honoring just myself, like I don't typically start my days now until about 10, you know,
Mhm,
like 9:30, maybe. I might make an exception. Like tomorrow I have a meeting at 9:30 and I'm like, okay, I prepare myself,
mhm,
for it. But
mhm.
typically if you want me to be at my best from 10 o'clock on,
Yeah,
I'm good. Because I like to ease
absolutely.
into my day now that I
Yeah.
can. Before it was just like hustle, hustle, hustle morning, drop the kids off at school and, go to work. And by
Mhm.
the time I get to work, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired already.
Absolutely.
Now I'm like, I mean, they're older now too, but now I'm just like, no, I want to ease into my day, lie in my bed, read my devotions,
Mhm.
maybe meditate a little bit,
Yes.
go to the shower, just take my time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that you talked about just being at your best, right? Because only you truly know what your capacity is and what fills your tank and what fills your cup so that you can show up. And I think that disappointing others is inevitable, right?
Hmm.
Even our, I have 2 little ones, right? And "Mommy, can you do this for me right now?" And if I can in the moment, I'm like, "I'm so sorry that I can't, but I'll do it later." Aw, and I'm like and it's so adorable, but it's just like, "But I will do this with you
Yeah.
later. Just give me a few more minutes when I have you have my full attention," right? And I think that is it, right? Like, we're so
You're
afraid of
teaching them something, but you're teaching
yeah,
them as well, like life skills, like you're not always going to get everything that you want when you want it. You may have to wait a little bit because we do
yeah,
our kids such a disservice if we just enable so much or lean into too much of what they want without showing that
yeah,
now is not a good time. Or no, you
yeah.
can't have that.
Aw. Right? And I think it's the same with adults as well, right? Like, we will disappoint adults in our lives,
Yeah,
other people in our lives, whether it is our
absolutely.
boss, our colleague, our friend, our family
Mhm.
member, right? And I think we have to get more comfortable with the fact that we will disappoint sometimes because regardless, someone's gonna end up being disappointed, right?
Yeah,
We'll be disappointed if we're burnt out and we're put on stress leave because we can't handle our stuff,
exactly.
right?
And if you're no good to you, you're no good to any. So
Yeah.
be good to yourself so that you can, so people can get the overflow because that's what everyone else should be getting. You need to be so full that others just get the overflow of your goodness,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely. So tell us, how do we get into our overflow?
How do you get into your overflow? Start
Mm,
with tapping into you first and recognizing what it is that makes you feel good. What is it that makes you feel fulfilled? And one of the easiest exercises I do with
mm,
my clients, and you can do it at any time of the year, is get a sheet of paper, and you can do it professionally on one sheet, or you can do two separate sheets of paper.
mm-hmm.
Draw a line down the center and make a list of all the things that are not serving you well in this season and stage of your life, personally, professionally. And then on the other side, what is serving you well? So the things that are not, we want to leave
Mm-hmm.
those in the rearview mirror. We don't want to bring them forward into the next month or quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Things that are, how do you incorporate more of those things in your day, in your week, in your month,
Mm,
right? So, because if we don't know what we like and what we want, then we're just going to continue old habits and rituals and behaviors.
yes.
When you can recognize, you know what, this is no longer serving me. I'm
Yes.
not going to do that anymore, or I'm not going to tolerate or allow that anymore. These are the things that I love. Like I love going to the spa now, so I go to the spa. I go for a massage at least a month now. Now I'm finding time to
Mhm.
make sure that I can make that happen. Before that wasn't
Yes.
even a priority, and
Yeah.
that takes us to the priority piece. Is what is a priority for you to be? These are the things that I need.
Mm,
These are the things that I don't need. So
mhm.
really, just listening to yourself, even just sitting and being like, what would I love right now? Money, time,
Mm,
resources was not an object or something for me to worry about. What would I love? Because whatever we want is truly possible. We just need the time, resources, um,
mm.
to make it happen. But it is
Yeah,
absolutely possible.
absolutely. 100%. It's, a little bit similar to what I tell my clients, right? Like you want to be that bigger sister to that inner child,
To
right?
yourself.
And just, yeah,
Mm,
really attune to yourself and really ask that little boy or that little girl, what is it that you need right now? Right?
yeah. And show yourself some grace. Show yourself some grace. We've all
Mm,
been through, I always say either you're going through it or you're about to go through
mhm.
it, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know about you, but I have a girlfriend who's going through a rough time right now, and she was dumping on me one day, like it was all about her. And then she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. I didn't even hear how your day was." And I said, "Today for you, tomorrow for me." I said, "It's okay. Today for you,
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow for me," because we're all riding these
Yeah,
waves at
absolutely.
different times, right? So,
100%. 100%. All right, Kadeen, if you could leave one more thing for our Love Bay family tonight, what would that be?
mm, that would be to tap into who you truly are. That whatever that looks like for you, um, whether it's going and sitting in a park, being still, quiet in your room, um,
Mm-hmm.
just tap into what's really serving you and what's not serving you. I would start there because then you can start making changes, right? And then you won't continue down the same paths and habits. So that simple exercise that I just described, I would honestly start there. What do you really
Yeah.
want? What do you not want? Because it's funny how we can easily say what we don't want, but it's hard for us to identify what we truly want and what serves us well. So
Yeah.
try and make a 50s list of the things that you want. What do you want the end of 2026 to look like or for you to feel like?
Mm, I love that. I love that. Well, there you have it, Love Bay family. As we close tonight's conversation, I want to remind you high achievement is not the problem. Overfunctioning in survival mode is. If you've been praised for being strong while quietly running on empty, this is your invitation to pause. As we honor Women's
Mm,
History Month and Black Mental Health Week, let us remember resilience does not mean self sacrifice. Leadership does not require depletion. And success is not sustainable if your nervous system never feels safe. So here is a gentle reminder tonight. That again, this show was only for educational and information purposes only. Okay, and this does not replace mental health support. So if you need it tonight, please reach out to someone in your area. Okay, and thank you again to our guest, Kadeen Cooper, for sharing her wisdom and lived leadership insight with us tonight. Next week on the Mental Health Hour, we have Baba Shop Tuesday, where we continue our series on loneliness, part 2. Dating burnout, are men tired of trying? That is our topic for next week. It's going to be honest, it's going to be real, and it's going to challenge some narratives. So please join us at the same time, same place, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. You've been listening to the Mental Health Hour. Until next time, please protect your peace, regulate your nervous system, and remember, you deserve success that doesn't cost your soul. Good night. Peace out.